There are a number of knots available that we use while fishing, and each individual has his or her go-to knot. We have been asked a number of times how we connect braid to braided leader or braid to mono. Our suggestion is to make sure you are confident in your knot, and these are our choices of knots that we use.
Hi guys, just sharing our favorite braid to leader knots. This is my favorite. It's called a Yucatan knot. There are a couple of ways of tying it. You can just make a loop and then start your formation, but the Marlin boys in America and the top guys say that you should tie a Bimini twist first. For those who haven't tied a Bimini, there are quite a few ways of finishing them as well, and they sound like a mega complicated knot. I find you've got to go around like a pipe or like a rod holder or something like that. Makes it a lot easier to get that loop going. So literally spiral it up about 16 times. I like 17 is a nice number. Have fun. Twisty, 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 twisty. Doesn't have to be particularly tight or fancy or anything like that. Okay, so you got your spiral. Holding your one side, you basically put it up tight. So you got some tension there. Can you see the one okay? And then literally your looser line now, you're going to let it crawl down. This is thick braid. It's going to crawl down on the tension. Come on, braid. Okay, there we go. So it's got to the bottom. Now to cinch that off, a simple way is you tie a single overhand knot around the one side, single overhand knot around the other side, and then I'll take an overhand over both. Some guys would go for a 3-turn knot above this as well, the deep sea boys. Don't find that essential at all. I'd often go more strands than that, but that's basically a Bimini twist. The idea is it gives a loop that's 100% strong, and there's a hint of give in it as well. So let's just snip that off. You don't have to do that. The idea of this, though, is you created a loop that will not slip in any way. You could use a spider hitch as well. There are quite a few, or you could just forego the loop and just form a loop. So I'm tying you into a mono. I actually enjoy a mono leader. Can cause a bit of ding-ding through the guides, but I find mono leaders give me the maximum abrasion resistance, certainly amongst the rocks. Okay, so simple. You take your mono or your braid, lie your loop across it at a right angle. Then taking your loop, you're working your way back, typically about 8 turns. They don't have to even be super neat, but around about 8 turns. Keep them reasonably neat. On a Monday, I tend to lose count, so I'm more or less right there. Okay, so we've got a loop on the end. Sometimes that gets a bit tight on your thinner braids, and you've got to open it up again. Simply take your mono through the hoop. Okay, now here's the key part. You hold that there. You've got to pull them both flat. You can't be pulling up at odd angles and that. They've got to bite into each other. Slowly pull it up. As with all knots, a bit of moisture at this stage, less chance of any burn off. You can sometimes help the loops, particularly on your heavier monos and braids, give them a bit of a help. And then the key to this knot, the key to this knot is pulling up really tight. I often will go around a pipe, or if I'm on the beach, just the butt of my fishing knife or something like that, but you've really got to pull tight. That's one of those ones, if you don't do that, the knot's not successful in any way. Okay, cranky, cranky. Okay, let's give it a yank. As I'm pulling tight, if you can see that, your mono should pop up at a right angle, like a pig's tail. And that is your Yucatan knot. From what I found, the strongest braid to leader knot, possibly not the most petite. It can cause a bit of knocking through the guides and that, but I've yet to find stronger. I find it works pretty well mono to mono, works well mono to braid to braid as well. And you can cut your tag end off rather short there. And we're not going to do a test tonight. Trust me, I was cooking up on the weekend, and I was using 0.6mm sinker line that is snapping before this, and I was using a 30-pound DNA braid into it. It's an exceptional knot. The Bimini can be made slightly shorter if you want to, but I find that junction works for me. What I like about it, I can do it blindfolded backwards. If you want to, you can leave the Bimini out totally and just try to loop into it and go that route. I find it works 99% as well. Okay, I just showed you my Yucatan braid to leader knot. Sometimes it's not necessary to use a leader. I think if you've got a quality mainline braid, you can actually cast further than a leader knot going through your guides. Often if you have a fancy leader and you snap off and you haven't got the time or impulse to tie another leader knot in, you just want to carry on fishing. And that's where this knot comes in. It's a simple knot. There's nothing complicated at all. You all know it. I don't know why, but superstition tells me I must go through the swivel twice. It's just an old-fashioned thing. My dyslexic brain occasionally gets it wrong, but so twice around, just to spread the load. A normal old-fashioned fisherman's knot, but where you normally go about 6 turns, I like to go about 8. The thinner your braid, the more turns you do. Like a 10-pound braid, I might go 10, 12 loops around. 100-pound, probably 5 or 6 is more than enough. And the spiral, I've gone about 8 to 10 times around, depending on my diameter of the braid. I simply go through the loop at the bottom. You can see why we wear glasses. And then literally through the whole lot back towards you. Again, wet. It's one of those ones you sometimes have to help along a bit. Particularly on heavy braid. And again, the key on any knots is to pull it nice and tight. Now, that is literally as strong as your braid is. You'll snap off normally just above it, actually, I find. So a quick way, if you're using 30 or 40-pound braid, that's the strongest junction. Your obviously sinker will go off this, hook will go off this. What you need to watch for now is go for quite a light sinker trace, not in the sinker trace. If you do hook up, you can struggle to snap if you don't do that. But this is a quick solution to guys who struggle with leader knots. This might be your answer.
What is happening, Fisher? So the first knot I'm going to run through for you this evening is the way, I don't know the name of it, the way I connect my swivel to braid. So a bit different to what Don does. I'll double back my braid through the eye of the swivel. Sorry guys, through the eye of the swivel. Double back. 5 to 7 turns, depending on the thickness of your braid. Trying to make them too tight, keep the loops quite loose. That'll go through, back through the braid itself again. You can see there, and then I'm going to have my swivel and that loop, and then I'm going to put my swivel through that loop once again. You get a bit of a mess coming through there like that. You have just a little bit of spit on the fingers. Slowly, needs a bit of dressing this knot. Get the tension right between the two. Oh, and there we have it, guys. That's the way I'd connect my swivel to my braid. That's my version of it. There are lots of versions. They all work equally as well, I think. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do for you quickly is run through my knot to join either braid to leader or braid to mono. There's not you need a tool for. It's called a PR Bobbin. They're all available from Bulmoria. Definitely something to worth looking at. In my opinion, the strongest knot in my arsenal. I swear by this knot. And for me, it's the easiest one to tie. It does look a bit complicated, but after a bit of practice, it's not so bad. So what we'll do is we're going to rig up the PR Bobbin first. Sorry, guys, I don't have the best eyes in the world. Under the lights, it's not that easy. Third time lucky. Then we're going to have the line coming out the front. What we're going to do, we're going to run anti-clockwise. These chittle O-rings, you're going to pull the braid nice and tightly in between. And what we're going to do, we're going to give it between 10 and 12 turns. Half turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on this time. Put some tension on it. You'll get used to the amount of tension you need to put on, guys. A little bit too tight. The thicker the braid is, the more tension you can put on. That feels about right. Ask Don just create a little bit of tension. So what you normally do is you have your line going through your rod guides, 1 or 2 turns of the reel handle. Keep that nice and tight. That's the yellow, that's my main line. And then for my leader line. I'm using some nice white leader. It's just easy for you guys to see. I'm going to lay it parallel to the main line. Sorry, don't get a little bit of it. There we go. I'm going to wrap around finger twice, once, twice. And done. I'll show you guys. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin it anti-clockwise. Create the first form of loops. And what I'm going to do, as I start spinning this bobbin away from me and back towards me, I'm going to use my thumb to guide it from left to right. And it should start this process. There it goes, guys. I know it's not easy to see on camera. And that's it, guys. All you need is about 5 centimeters, 5 to 7 centimeters of it. Release. Release again. I'm going to pull that out. I used a bit too much line there, but it's not the end of the world. Now what I'm going to do is unspiral the pigtails I've got left here. Sorry, Don, can I ask you a little bit of tension there for me? Yeah. Thank you. What I'll do is I'm going to hold those two next to each other. Take my tag in here. Cut this a bit shorter to make it a bit more manageable, guys. 1/2 inch. Second 1/2 inch. So 2 1/2 inches once you're done over both lines. A little bit of saliva to get it lubricated. I'll just give it a bit of tension. Seat it. My leader line now. Make sure you cut the right line. I've done this the wrong line many times, by mistake. Cut the leader line off, nice and close. And that's the basis of your knot. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to finish the knot off. So I did. Sorry, Don, I'm asking a little bit of tension again. There we go. There we go. Perfect. There. Thank you. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch to the left, 1/2 inch to the right. And all I'm going to do is a risotto finish. Just through, loop it a couple of times. 1, 2, 3 normally does it. And seal that knot down. Get as much tension on that little knot as you can at the end. And then cut the tag end off, guys. It does look very complicated, I know. Practice it. And there you have your beautiful, super slim PR bobbin knot.
What is happening, guys? So, my turn to do a very famous knot, the FG knot, arguably one of the strongest fishing knots that there is. And this is the way that I've done it for the longest time, and for me this is the way that works the most and the best. So besides the PR bobbin knot, which I do often tie, this is the other knot that I do. So first things first, pinky finger, you're going to take your line and you're going to wrap it around your finger 5 or 6 times, like so. So this would be the line that would be coming from your reel. So you take it just like that. Then you're going to be taking your leader line and you're just going to cross it on top of your main line itself. And then I know this is going to be very difficult to see on camera, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to form a cross. We're going to take it under the one side, under the other side, and pull it tight. And then we repeat this process for 18 turns. So that would be 4, 5, 6, and so on until you get to 18. Okay, so now that I've done my 18 turns, take your main line off of your finger, and then you're going to be doing 2 half-inch knots. So one around your braided leader, and a second one, okay, then we're going to take your knot both sides and you're just going to pull tight
tight as you possibly can. And then all we're going to do just to finish this off is we're going to be doing one more half hitch knot. Just like that. Cut your tag end off. Cut your other tag end off. Give it one more pull for luck. And there you have your FG knot, the way that I know how to tie it. Anyway, guys, super strong knot, nice and slim, goes through the guides nice and easy. And that's all you need from my side. Cheers.